Hello, fellow mama. Do you ever have those days when you just wonder if God sees you, if He notices you in your motherhood? I remember when I had my third child. So I had two small ones at home and just had my third baby. And I was up all night and feeling so exhausted. And I remember getting up in the morning just drained already before the day had even started. And in my heart crying out to God. And He whispered to me these words: I am the God who sees you. And that reminded me of the story where that comes from. It's a story of Hagar in the Bible. You may have never heard of her before, but she was pregnant at the time and she was being mistreated by her mistress, Sarai. She's also an Egyptian slave at this point. You can read about her story in Genesis 16. But she flees away into the wilderness in the desert, and she's found by God at a stream there. He encounters her. The God of the universe shows up to an Egyptian slave woman, and he tells her about this child that she's going to bear. But after this encounter, it clearly has an impact on her, because this is what she says in Genesis 16, verse 13. She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her: You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. He sees you. Whether your season right now is full of joy and excitement, looking forward to the upcoming holidays, or whether you're grieving a loss and you don't know where God is and you're just wondering if He sees your tears. I want to also remind you of the verse in Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Sometimes as we walk through our lives as Christians, we want to put on that happy face. We want to say, hey, everything's good and great and sunshine and roses. But we know in our life that we face suffering and tragedy, that we need God to remind us that He sees us in our pain, and that it's okay to express that back to Him whenever we're feeling frustrated and angry. We can cry out to God. So I want to share, this is a psalm of lament. This is Psalm 13. And I want you to pay attention to not only the reality that's expressed in this psalm of those real, raw emotions, but also how the psalm ends. So this is Psalm 13. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death, and my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for He has been good to me. We can be honest in our prayers to God. We can express what's going on in our hearts, but we can also remember and step out in faith of who our God is, that He is still our faithful God. Most recently in my life, a few months ago, my husband was laid off from his job unexpectedly, and that just completely threw us. It was another one of those moments where I remember God saying, I see you. And I knew then that I could still trust that same God that I've been walking with, that He was the same the day before when my husband still had a job, and He would continue to be the same God, the same faithful God. He doesn't change. Even though our circumstances change, He doesn't change. So I hope you hang tight to that today, and remember, He's the God who sees you.